Welcome to another episode of J-Pod, Jefferson School District's very own podcast. I'm Superintendent Brad Capener, and I have my co-host joining me today, Becca Mallory. Hello, Becca.
Hello, we're back.
We're back, and thank you for being here today. Today, we are actually going to be talking about summer school, and we have two guests joining us. Chris Sullivan, who's the principal of Jefferson Elementary School, and Melissa Palma, who is our summer school lead. Good morning.
Well, good day.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here and talking with us today. So, first of all, J-Pod, Jefferson's podcast, is about helping our community understand all of the great happenings in our schools and in our community. And we are fortunate that we can offer another summer school this year. The last couple years, we've been able to offer summer schools at all levels because the state was able to help us out with some grants. And unfortunately, the state was not able to provide those grants this year. However, we do have the funding for one summer school at our elementary school and using some grant funding. And so I wanted to bring Chris and Melissa here today to kind of give us all the details and let us know what this summer school is going to look like, and for any parents who might be interested that, listening, we give you the details. So good morning, and again, and thank you. And if you guys just tell us, what are your plans and what's this going to look like?
Well, I think we could start off by just talking about the dates. So our program's going to run June 26th through July 14th. Is that right?
Yep.
So there'll be half days, and we're also providing breakfast and lunch. So we're able to bring in a lot of kids
So when
with that.
you say half days, does it start at 8?
8 to 11:30
8 to 11:30.
each day. And so
The
breakfast.
bus is providing transportation, and we'll serve breakfast and
Yep.
lunch.
Busing provided as well, and breakfast and lunch, and a lot of fun activities. The crew that we have involved, which includes Melissa Palma and Patricia Calvillo and Jennifer Frost and
Sarah
Withy.
Yep.
So that is our whole crew, and we put together a pirate-themed summer school.
Ooh, pirate.
Yes,
Yeah,
which,
That does not
everyone.
surprise me with Sarah Withy being on the team.
Yes.
Did you guys know that there is a pirate theme park in Jefferson, just outside of Jefferson, and it's just starting up this summer?
Finally.
I did not even know that Jefferson had a theme park.
Well,
No.
now you do.
Now we're attached to this.
Does Sarah Withy work
Yeah.
there?
No, but
But
we
you
have
will
plenty-
after the summer.
So we got a lot of pirate-themed things, and you know how summer school rolls is you got to make it fun. So we're gonna do some pretty targeted interventions around reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And to keep kids coming back every day, we got a lot of fun activities as well. So we stoked up on water balloons
Yep.
and
We got some pirate gold coins that we're going to be digging for and reading the words that we find on them, and fun games like chalk on the ground. We're jumping, hearing sounds and words, and reading sentences outside.
So do
and-
they come in the morning dressed as pirates? Is that
oh, no.
Actually,
yeah,
Staff
To
show.
let you know, we did get telescopes for each of our students, and they have a little treasure chest that they'll be able to collect their coins throughout the week and store in. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
they're all going to end by arg. They'll be
Arg.
talking arg by the end of it.
That's the AR blend.
Yeah,
R.
R.
The R control vowels, they'll have those down.
Are you targeting a specific grade level? Or
No, it's K-5. It's all elementary kids.
Five, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be really awesome. We did also find someone that will donate shirts for it, so the kids will get shirts that they're going to get to design. That's going to be cool. We're going to
We're gonna tie-dye them,
We're going
yeah.
to tie-dye them, and
So to be clear, any student, or is this targeted towards certain?
this is English language learners.
English language
Yeah,
learners.
English language learners specifically,
Okay.
and that's how we've designed the all the activities and curriculum to specifically target needs of English language learners.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that because I think that's a good place. Not everyone understands. So, English language learners, do they struggle more because of the language ability? I mean, what is the summer school designed to help bridge that academic language, or what is the focus, I guess, for English learners?
We've had a lot of success with our programs, Blast and UFly, which are programs that are designed for English language learners to practice speaking, listening and reading strategies.
Yeah.
So those are the strategies that our English language learners miss the most, particularly speaking practice.
Right.
So that we're really focusing on those opportunities for kids. That's where they lag behind, is in some of the academic language. So we're going to be working on sentence frames and on practicing the language that they're going to need to be successful in school.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's from my observations in looking at English learner success is oftentimes they don't speak enough in class. And so if they're working on the academic language, it's how to talk, how to speak in a way where they feel confident and have the ability to practice the language. Because if you don't give them those opportunities in class, then sometimes they just don't get it or they don't pick it up the way we'd like to. And then all of our English learners in our program have a test each year called the ELPA exam.
Right.
And so they're in our ELD program, English Language Development Program, and each year they have to take a test and show proficiency. And one of those proficiency marks is speaking. So I can see how this summer school is going to be just point on in terms of that focus and really helping kids to speak. That's what I'm hearing. That's great.
Exactly. And another thing that's exciting is that we have some students that are going to be entering kindergarten in the fall. We have 5 students that are not currently at JES, but will start in the fall. So we have our very young learners. So that's exciting.
That's really exciting because it's also going to give them some introduction to school, right? And
Right.
like what it would be like to sit on a rug or be in a group and raise their hand, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
Becca, last year you were involved in the summer school.
Yeah,
program.
last year I was the lead teacher.
Yeah, you were the lead last year. So we have last year's lead, this year's lead. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so Becca, just if I can put you on the spot here for a minute, in terms of what you felt what students really came away with last year in the activities, what kind of growth did you see over the few weeks that you were in summer school?
The biggest focus we had last year, aside from the academics, was really just how to be a student in class. That I think played a really major role in helping to try semi-calm some of the behavior or behaviors that we would have seen at the beginning. And you had those like leader students, not saying that it was perfect, right? Like we still start the year really rough regardless. But then also we introduced IXL, the program that we've been using to kind of track how they're doing in reading and math. So we introduced that in summer school to kind of get a good feel of how the program works with the students and then give that teacher feedback of this is how I would use it, this is how I would change it. So that was really helpful last year.
Great. Okay, good. Chris.
Yes.
How long have you been principal here at Jefferson Elementary?
My 4th year.
4th year. So and you are
Hoping for a 5th.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. In your experience over the last few years, I know we've had COVID for a couple of those. What have been some of the challenges that you've seen with students from year to year? Are students back? Are they recovered from COVID, kind of from that experience, or do you still see a deficit and issues there?
I think we still see deficits, particularly around reading strategies, regulation. So kids being able to regulate their behavior, their emotions. So we've been really targeting those 2 things, reading and regulation. We're going to double down on that next year as well.
And how do you do that? Like, how do
through
you
specific
regulate?
systems and curriculum. So for regulation, we use PACS is what we use at the building level, and that is a classroom management tool. So really, it's just having helps English language learners specifically as well, because it's very specific language across K-5. So you're not going place to place and having teachers say different things to you. They're all using the same language. They all have the same expectations.
So consistency across the school. So even out in the playground, you're hearing the same type of language.
Exactly.
In the lunch room, you're hearing. So everyone's been trained, right? Everybody in your school?
So everyone's been trained on that. Everyone's been trained on Ruler. And again, I mean, since we're all speaking about English language learners, it benefits the kids to learn how to identify their emotions and communicate their emotions. So with what we have is the mood meter, and every kid in the school has at least 1 chance per day to communicate on, for people that are listening here, they can't see a mood meter, but big magnetic board that they can put right on a word that expresses how they're feeling at that time. So as I've done walkthroughs and chatted with kids, a lot of kids have said that what they like about it is it gave them words to know how they feel, and that a teacher can come and talk to them.
Right, because on the mood meter itself, there are
Yeah.
describing words,
Yeah.
like I feel sad or lonely or happy, excited,
Yeah.
tired, or whatever. So the kids like to
You
use
just put
that.
it right on how you're feeling, and depending on the age level, there's a different vocabulary,
Right.
different words.
So you see kids have been using that, and
Yeah.
teachers then are able to say, "Oh, this kid is this student today is not feeling well, so I'm going to go check in with them."
Yeah.
And that's been helpful.
And that just kind of happens naturally. So it teaches them how to regulate. And then we have a meta moment, which is also through Ruler, but we're just starting on that. And that's really that strategy of before you react, what can you do? So you're not just like, oh, that kid bumped into me, I'm going to hit them. Is what really happened? How can I respond in a positive way to give really that breathing space in between a trigger and the reaction?
Well,
that's big.
That's a really valuable skill, right? I mean, when you think about how many people just react when they hear something, or they get really upset and they just, they reach out and punch a kid or whatever. I mean, this is a way to just kind of, I need to take a moment here and try to calm down. So that's great. That sounds like a whole school effort to try to help manage behaviors.
Yeah, and one thing that also on the academic side of that piece, the reading portion of it, is we started doing school-wide benchmark data, and it's a program called Acadience, and so the teacher will read with a student and kind of gauge where their level is, and then we're able to use that data to further explore ways that we can meet the students' needs in reading. And we've also adopted, he mentioned earlier, UFly, and it's a systematic approach to teaching phonics. And so it's very explicit, so it's very clear what you're going to say and and it's systematic. It builds on itself, and then it interleaves practice throughout. And so that way kids are moving along. And the thing, like he said about how we're doing at K-5, we're doing the same signaling and cueing systems, the same words. So that like the first graders that are in those groups this year are going to start in the fall, will already have experienced that, so it'll be easy to get going right away in the fall if they need support in reading.
So let's back up just a second. When you talk about benchmarking, so students come to you at the beginning of the year, right? And is benchmarking like, trying to see where everybody is, at an academic level, like in their reading level, and then moving from there? I mean, how does that work? So for the listener.
Okay, so the program that we use is called Acadience, and it's called a universal screener, which just means it can go across all grade levels. And at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year, we call those benchmark periods.
Gotcha.
And in the fall, when they first come in, that's the fall benchmark. We read with each student. So every student is checked in on to see where they're at, and then we are able to look at that data to determine, okay, next steps. So what do I need to do now? Okay, these students are doing wonderful. They're above grade level, or they're on grade level. They just need this tier 1 like classroom.
That's got to be powerful.
It is. It's so powerful.
Because you're seeing, you're like getting real time data where kids are, and you're making decisions. So then do your teachers, are they in teams then? Are they looking at that data?
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yeah, we have data team meetings, and we look over that. And the other good thing is then we progress monitor, which is using the same tool, but just to check. So if say, for example, we create an intervention for a group of students, we do that intervention for 6 weeks. I don't want to wait till the end of 6 weeks to find out if that intervention is actually working. Right. So what I'll do is I'll come in and we call it progress monitoring. It's just basically the same type of assessment at benchmark. It's just a quick gauge to see is this intervention working? Are the students making gains, or what do we need to change for the students? So that's also been implemented. So that's been really good, really good.
And that data will also drive summer school. So when we're looking at that, that's how we'll be breaking apart students by with what they need. So for example, we were chatting about a group of students. We have somewhere around 10 that their fluency is fantastic. Their comprehension just isn't great. So we're not going to be. Sorry, that's my child. We should put him on the podcast.
Pay no attention.
Yeah, paying no attention to the man behind the curtain. Anyway, I was saying important things. What was I saying? I was saying about grouping kids. So we do have 10 kids that we were looking at, and the data's showing like we've got these fluent readers. They can read anything, but they're not retaining as much of what they're reading. So then we can put together a very focused comprehension group. So instead of just kind of doing a broad swath, paint everyone with the same brush,
Exactly.
this data can be like, we can then break apart everyone. Here's your exact deficit, and we are going to hit that exact deficit.
And I've been organizing those materials, and we're getting our last benchmarks right now. And I have my U flag data that I'm putting in so that the second they come into summer school week can hit the ground running with what they need.
That's amazing when you think about it, because I think there's just this general idea about summer school that kids come, but it's not really, we don't really know what they need, and they just come and they do some things and then they go and they learn something. What I'm hearing is this is very targeted. Like this is very focused. You've been looking. You know who's coming in.
Yep.
You know what their scores are.
Yep.
You know where they need to grow, and then teachers, before they're even teaching, are looking at that data and looking at those students and knowing, a lot of them know the students already, and they're coming in with lessons planned to help with those deficits, those areas. That's really powerful.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm excited, but we're also going to have fun things too. I want to make that.
Well, let's talk about the fun.
Okay,
I want to hear all about that. Summer school should be fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, we are just a bunch of fun people doing it, so of course it's going to be fun.
Well, absolutely.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah, that's true. But we are experiencing some times where kids don't always, get to do fun things at school. So we're going to make it as fun as possible, and we're going to also encourage them to come every single day. It's 13 days long because we won't have summer school on July 4th or 5th. So if they attend all those days, then we're going to go on a really fun trip to Salem. We're going to go to the waterfront park and ride the carousel and play at the park. And then we're going to go over to Pietro's Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to do some mini golfing and some arcade games
Fun.
and some pizza. So tie-dye shirts at the school.
Yep.
We're going to have water balloons and...
You have some families listening going, darn, I wish I had gotten my kids signed up.
Well, I think we have every kid, English language learner at the school currently signed up, I believe, but 2.
Oh.
So it actually appears that everyone that can sign up, minus 2, has signed up.
That's amazing.
So if you're one of those 2, and you're listening to this, we have room for you. But yeah, it turned out to be pretty fantastic that this was of interest to that many families, to near 100% of the families that we would like to bring in have found this to be valuable.
I think that's going to be really a game changer for us here in Jefferson. I think that obviously we would have loved to see more summer school, for a broader group of kids, because a lot of kids need summer school support. Just not able to make it happen this year. Hopefully the state will help with some grants next year that we can do that. That sounds like an outstanding program, and thank you for enlightening us, kind of giving us pulling apart the onion or
layers.
The layers.
or whatever.
The layers of fun. The onion of fun.
The onion of
The Funyun.
Sounds like an oxymoron to me.
We're going to talk
about
about summer school.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be fun. So anyway, I wanted to thank you for coming today and letting us hear a little bit about it, and thank you so much for doing it this year and for running this program, and thank you for all you do to support our children, and we're just eternally grateful for our teachers and our administrators, everybody, to give their time and their summer to help kids learn and make up those gaps. So I wanted to thank you for being here, and keep up the great work. It's making a difference and bringing joy to many people. Thank you to my co-host, Becca.
As always, I love being a part of this.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, indeed.
Until next time, we're signing off. Thank you.